Hello there, and welcome back to the Devlog series for SCP The Cycle. I hadn't realized how close I am to actually releasing the second demo version. I just need to finish up some story elements and add some sort of puzzle for the Holy Device, and that will be enough for the second release. Anyway, let's get on with the updates for this devlog. First of all, most of my attention has been spent working on expanding the maintenance tunnels and the story. The maintenance tunnels have now been expanded to their full size, and are just as large as the light containment zone. In the maintenance tunnels, you'll find a room with experimental equipment, including the Holy Device which you need to retrieve. However, once you pick up the Holy Device and try to leave, a sudden power cut occurs, leaving you blind. If you want to find out what happens next, you can find it out by playing the new demo when I release it. I can't go around spoiling everything in these devlogs now, can I? Now then, the rest of the updates for this week have all been minor updates and fixes to make sure that everything looks good and works properly before the release. Firstly, I updated the note system to use less objects and save memory. I used to have a different object for every note that I placed, but every object takes up more memory. Instead of that, I now use something called creation code to only use one object for all these notes. I discovered creation code earlier this year, and I've also used it to only use one door object for 6 different levels of doors that all require a different keycard. Creation code is a piece of code that runs only once when the object is first loaded into the level. This is different from the create event in the objects themselves, because the create event applies to every instance of an object, while the creation code can be applied to individual instances. This way, I can tell an instance to display a different sprite when the player views the note, while only using one object instead of several, saving memory in the process. Secondly, the level 2 keycard that was originally placed in the hallway at the beginning of the game for testing purposes has now been moved to its actual location so that the player has to find it before progressing further. Thirdly, I've adjusted the dialogue in the first cutscene to fit inside the dialogue box. Previously, this dialogue would extend outside of the designated area, but now that has been fixed. Fourthly, the save and load system has had a long overdue update to fix all sorts of loading errors that occurred because either some data wasn't saved at all, wasn't saved correctly, or wasn't being loaded. For example, the Holy NPC wouldn't exist anymore after loading, the Holy Device object would just disappear, and some cutscene dialogue would sometimes play when it wasn't supposed to. By doing this update, these issues have all been resolved now. Besides all that, I've done some visual updates such as moving the archive sign to the left because it was inside the button for the door, and moving the notes to display in the middle of the screen instead of the bottom. And that has been all for this time. Thank you all for watching. As always, I'm very open to suggestions, so do leave some feedback in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with the progress, be sure to subscribe. Bye for now, and I'll see you all in the next one.